would any one of you like to live across the road or next door to a frac sand mine? A few people who make money from it will be willing to live by a mine. But if you are not the one who profits from it, would you really want to live next to a mine? Think about it. Significant property loss, property value loss, ceaseless noise, dust, traffic, ugliness, and worse than all of these, maybe, probably, water contamination and health problems. It might be justifiable if this was for some noble cause. No, this is to put others through the particular hell of living next to fracking. And it has the unintended consequence of increasing climate change. We already have one mine per approximately 110 people in this county. I think we can all agree that that's more than adequate. If you don't want to live next to a mine yourself, how is it okay to impose this on others? It seems a violation of the basic golden rule. People in favor of mining are fond of talking about land rights. Who will speak for the land rights of the neighbors who only experience negative consequences from mining? So again, I ask you, as policymakers, how many of you, how would you like to live with a mine across the street or next door to you?
Good morning, Commissioners. Ken Tschumper from La Crescent Township. Commissioner, someone said the other day that some of you are feeling misunderstood in regards to frac sand mining. I certainly can relate to that. That's happened to me occasionally in life. Well, if that is the case, there's an easy solution to clear up any confusion so that no one thinks you are misleading the public. If you are opposed to frac sand mining, simply say so. Say so in loud and unambiguous terms, but let your actions be consistent with what you are telling people. As was mentioned last week during this period, back in April, a majority of this board passed a resolution to draw up an ordinance to ban frac sand mining. Such an ordinance is easy to draw up. Let's be honest, Commissioners. Commissioner Walter, Commissioner Storley, and Commissioner Schultz, you are not interested in banning frac sand mining, or you could have easily taken the steps to do so by now. The draft frac sand ordinance that you finished last week is badly flawed. I believe you should have 4 public listening sessions in La Crescent, Spring Grove, Houston, and Caledonia, so the public could weigh in and actually discuss it, ask questions, and demand explanations. I think, frankly, you would get an earful of negative comments. Unfortunately, my guess is that you will not do that because you are determined to railroad this ordinance that will eventually allow unrestricted frac sand mining in Houston County, just like you pushed through the Erickson mine reform, even though many of us told you repeatedly that that was the wrong thing to do. Commissioners, the future of our area, what it will look like if we have clean air and clean water and decent roads, is not up to us as individuals. It is up to what we do collectively through our government. The problem is that you all can't see it. You are willing to allow a few individual landowners and some outside corporations to make these decisions for us instead of having our own county government use its powers to say, that is what we want and need, this is what we want and what we are going to prohibit. Take the correct action, Commissioners, and do what most residents want and ban frac sand mining in Houston County. Thank you.
Fields, Winnebago Township. Commissioner Walter, last week you were interviewed by a reporter from Channel 19 News. You said, quote, "We're changing from a conditional use permit, which goes with the land and whoever owns the land, to an interim use permit, which is just the person who uses the permit. That way we can take it away from the person if they don't follow regulations. As of right now, we can't take it away if it goes with the land." I'm sure you were just repeating something somebody told you, but I have to hope that that belief is unique on the board because nothing could be further from the truth. Houston County can, right now, revoke conditional use permits. It's right here, Houston County zoning ordinance, page 129, under the bold-faced heading, revocation of permit, and they're talking about conditional use permits. There lists some steps to take before the permit is actually revoked, but subdivision 3 says, if said Board of Commissioners shall find that provisions of this section have not been complied with by the permit holder, then the mining operations permit may be suspended or terminated by said Board of Commissioners. Look, if the county can't revoke conditional use permits, that means that mines are free to violate whatever regulations they find inconvenient. That may be what planning and zoning believes, but it's not what the ordinance or the land use plan intended. You commissioners will soon cast the most important vote of your lives, whether or not to allow frac sand mining. And those of us who've been paying attention become concerned and nervous when we think that the board may not be considering the subject with the seriousness it deserves. There are numerous mines currently operating in Houston County with no permit at all. How are you going to regulate those mines? Don't you think it would be prudent to bring our existing mines into compliance before you increase the intensity of mining activity here? I mean, just to see if we could do it. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else wish to address the board?